what was actual need of these uh, sustainable development goals, at what time, for what purpose they started to develop, how they are important for your UPSC examination or different other examination as well as in day-to-day life, where you need to add these sustainable development goals during your mains answer writing, means to get more marks, where you need to add which countries are bounded for all these sustainable development goals and how much success or failed these sustainable development goals are. सो जब भी आपने देखा होगा टॉपर्स को बात करते हुए या फ्रीक्वेंटली यूपीएससी स्टूडेंट को डिस्कस करते हुए, probably most frequently they use sustainable development goals. Everybody almost at every summit targeted for the sustainable development goal. Every country irrespective of rich and poor is moving towards achieving the agenda 2030. 2030 जो एजेंडा अचीव करना है, each and every country irrespective of your size of economy, irrespective of poverty, inequality, hunger, malnutrition, कुछ भी है कंट्री में, जनरली ऑल दीज कंट्रीज आर मूविंग टूवर्ड सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं कि कहां से बिगिन हुआ. बिगिनिंग ऑफ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल, SDGs. So they started to begin in 2015 and United Nations headquarters New York, 193 members started together, and this summit was known as UN Sustainable Development Summit. UN Sustainable Development Summit, and it adopted a plan 2030. It adopted a plan 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Agenda for sustainable development. This was the agenda which was set by all these 193 member countries. All these countries determined that there should be 170, there should be 17 goals, sustainable development goals, SDGs, and there should be around 169 specific target that need to be achieved by 2030. ठीक है, तो यूनाइटेड नेशन समिट में, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट समिट में ये डिसाइड हुआ कि 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स रखिए, एक एजेंडा विच नीड टू बी फॉलोड ऑलमोस्ट बाय एवरी कंट्री. सभी कंट्रीज को ये एजेंडा फॉलो करना है, एंड इट इज नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ वन रादर इन फेवर ऑफ ग्लोब. It is in favor of all. Okay, so it was just a blueprint to make world more peaceful, more equal, more safe, more sustainable. I have used this word multiple times. What does mean by sustainable? What is the requirement of this sustainable? क्या है ये sustainable? ठीक है, sustainable development goals. क्या है development? और goals you know already. Now one by one, sustainable means we have noticed that countries are not developing sustainably, means there is rapid development which can't sustain for so long. So during this time period we noticed there were several challenges. Okay, and these challenges require more sustainable development. So for this, let's go first why it happened in 2015. To understand sustainable development goals, let's go why it happens in 2015, why it happened. After that I will return back, I will return to sustainable development, why it happens, yeah, happened in 2015. 2015 में क्यों हुआ? अगर हम पॉवर्टी देखें एट द टाइम पीरियड, पॉवर्टी, more than 1 billion people were suffering from severe poverty. extreme poverty. Now, what does mean by extreme poverty? As per World Bank, it has determined, means any person who is spending less than $1.25 per person per day. If he is spending less than that, he is under extreme poverty. Although this data now has increased, okay, and used to be revised from uh, previous years to forthcoming year. Now, millions of children were not going to school. Millions of children were not going to schools. They were not attending the schools. Rather, they were just engaged in garbage, manual ways. They just used to assist their family members, या फिर कई बार hazardous activities में, या you can say not productive activities में they used to engaged. फिर we notice gender inequality. Gender inequality. There was huge inequality in jobs, in education of the women. Generally, in some of the countries, some of the families, education for women, job for women is not preferred. It is not tradition. It is not convention. Yeah, it is considered as orthodox or less required, like that. There was rich and poor gap, huge gap, rich and poor. Further, we noticed there were health consequences, बहुत सारा health consequences थी. Many peoples were died from several diseases that could have cured. Probably there was no suitable medication or treatment, health treatment at right time. That's why these people suffer. And further, health issues may we also notice maternal as well as child death, high mortality rate, या maternal mortality rate, या child mortality rate. Okay. Again, there was also issue related to climate. There is frequent change in the climate. Means climate is changing with faster pace than ever before. Probably अगर हम देखें before 1900, the temperature was not rising with the pace at present it is rising. फ्यूचर में अगर बैक में भी जाएं तो इस तरीके से टेम्परेचर, इस तरीके से इरेटिक मानसून या साइक्लोन या वेरियस काइंड ऑफ नेचुरल हैजर्ड which is generally caused by increase in the temperature. And this year UPSC also asked how increase in temperature leading to increase in frequency of the cyclone. तो बहुत सारा calamities, बहुत सारा natural disaster increase हो रहा है because of climate change. Some of the environmentalists also held that due to change in the climate there is increase in the forest fire. Forest fire बहुत ज़्यादा लग रहा है in different areas. So it is because of change in the climate. So I hope you have understood why in 2015 different nations, countries, all 193 members decided let's go for sustainable development goals. Now I'm coming back to sustainable development. What does it mean? इसका मतलब क्या है सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट? ओके, सस्टेनेबल मींस which is not sustainable, which is not long lasting. long lasting नहीं है, means it is just for short time period. It is not for future generation, not available for future generation. Especially if there is rapid exploitation of resources, natural resources especially, when the future generation likely to be compromised with its need, with its basic need, then it is non-sustainable. ठीक है? So there should not be no compromise in use of resources for essential things. No compromise for resources by future generation. Means only used for need, not for the greed. We have noticed after introduction of industrial revolution, there is frequent exploitation with very fast pace about exploitation of natural resources. Land is degrading far rapid than ever before. Water is degrading day by day. हर साल लगभग 30 to 50 सेंटीमीटर वाटर जो है डाउन चला जाता है. Okay, yeah, we have noticed huge degradation in oil reserves, in coal reserves, in iron ore reserves, etc., etc. So, sustainable development generally held that develop in such a way so that future generations should not compromise with its basic need. Means let's allow future generation clean air, clean water, suitable fertile land, suitable adequate amount of minerals, petroleum products, etc., etc. फ्यूचर जनरेशन का भी उतना ही अधिकार है जितना आपका अधिकार है. अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा कंज्यूम करोगे तो प्रोबेबली फ्यूचर जनरेशन सफर करेगा एंड फ्यूचर जनरेशन इज सफरिंग. हाउ फ्यूचर जनरेशन इज सफरिंग? वी हैव नोटिस्ड दैट you know the degradation of water table is generally forcing in some of the regions like eastern side of Maharashtra and Latur region. Now government has banned, there is no cultivation of the sugarcane. Now past generation have cultivated sugarcane in extensive way, but future generation is suffering that future generation is unable to do sugarcane, so it is non-sustainable. So we used to adopt sustainable practices. Do you think that green revolution was the sustainable? No, it was not. We are noticing consequences of the green revolution, although MS Swaminathan, Norman Borlaug all respected across the globe and did commendable job. We have a great honor to them, yet we are facing consequences of it. We are facing degradation in the soil, alkalinity of the soil या salination of the soil. Soil में salt concentration बढ़ रहा है. We are noticing too much use of chemicals, frequent use of fertilizers. We are noticing frequent use of pesticides, further preservative materials, as well as uh, you know too much use of fertilizers etc. also leading to eutrophication. वाटर में भी पॉल्यूशन हो रहा है, एयर में भी पॉल्यूशन हो रहा है. ठीक है, तो सारा कुछ इंटीग्रेटेड पॉल्यूशन हो रहा है एंड फाइनली इट इज इम्पैक्टिंग whom? ह्यूमंस, एनिमल्स, सभी को इफेक्ट कर रहा है. ओके, सो when all such situations etc arises, then countries realize let's opt for sustainable development goals. Now look at development. There is term growth and there is also development. What is basic difference between the two? Growth generally increase in quantity, increase in number, but development is more comprehensive, holistic. Growth may not necessarily lead to development, but if development is happening, probably growth is part of it. Okay, growth means just like GDP, increase in size, increase in number. Suppose that there are two families, आपकी family है और आपके neighbor. Now look at their income. Suppose that both family are earning 1 lakh rupees per month. हर महीने दोनों family का income 1 lakh आ रहा है. Okay, there is one person who is doctor या professor, एक professor है या doctor है. दूसरा person likely to be just landlord. He is earning 1 lakh rupees from just renting his land. Now look differences in their lifestyle. The family of a doctor, of a professor, likely to be more civilized. Their standard of living likely to be little bit higher or far higher than another person who is maybe the agrarian, yeah, who is landlord, yeah, who is just running any kind of unprofessional business. Okay, so how development differs? When this development word come into your mind, what things immediately come? Suppose that if you compare India, USA versus India, Pakistan, you realize where development is higher. Sometimes you notice that tall buildings, clean road, wide street, uh, generally literate people with good sense, or good standard of living, having all basic essential things, etc., etc., generally you consider them uh, more developed. So I hope this development is quite clear. Development is more comprehensive word which associated with your education, with your health standard, with your earning, as well as your living standard. ठीक है, तो सभी को कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली इंक्लूड करता है। और गोल्स तो आप जानते हो कि बाई 2030 हमको ये सारे गोल्स जो टारगेट हैं हमारे अचीव करने हैं। ओके, सो नाउ लुकिंग, UN members shared this vision to fix. UN members generally share this vision, उन्होंने शेयर किया विजन को टू फिक्स व्हाट, टू फिक्स पॉवर्टी, टू फिक्स हंगर। लेट्स प्रोवाइड फुल ऑफ एजुकेशन, full of opportunity, health, equality for all. Means access to good health for all, clean and green environment, further peaceful and fair treatment with the all. So why this agenda was so special? It was because for everyone, not for rich, not for poor, for everyone, it treated somewhere equally, as well as goals were integrated or connected with each other. These goals were quite comprehensive as well as inclusive. They planned not to leave anyone behind. Any section of society is if behind, then who is responsible? We are the responsible. Okay. Further, they also focused over the future. They are futuristic goals, which make them very special. Means they are not concerning for 2 days. They are concerning about our generations, जो next generation होगी. How this generation is likely to be live stronger. We need to protect the interest. We need to protect certain rights the next generation has. Next generation always has right to clean air. Next generation always has right to clean water. They always have right to sufficient amount of agricultural land, not to transform into the concrete jungle entirely, not to damage this environment, this land, this terrestrial water ecosystem in such a way so that it become very, very complex for the future generation. Like Kalki movie kind of environment. Only inside complex there is clean, pure air. Outside there is all polluted air. Inside river there is no water. Okay. Further, there is no tree which is providing fruits, vegetables outside this complex. And pregnancy of girls, yeah, females also degraded up to large extent like that. So do not create such kind of situations. Okay. Now moving towards सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स, SDGs। अब देखते हैं कि SDGs कहाँ क्या हैं और कहाँ कहाँ आप यूज कर सकते हैं। सो SDGs, फर्स्ट you must remember out of 17 at least 10 SDGs, at least 10 SDGs. Otherwise, if you can remember all, most welcome. Okay, and you can use frequently wherever you found the suitable topic. जहाँ कहीं भी आपको suitable topic लग रहा है, SDG 1, SDG 2, SDG 3, like that, when you will put inside your answer writing and making a box on it, then professor will likely to be admired. Okay, you are also relating sustainable development goals, and that are the final goals for all. First one here is no poverty. पहला है no poverty. What is exact goal? Goal is eradicate poverty. ठीक है, आप अपने तरीके से याद कर सकते हो. The goal is eradicate poverty. Now, bye bye poverty. What steps government has taken? Government of India इसके लिए कुछ स्टेप लिया है क्या गवर्नमेंट ने? So for removing poverty, प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण योजना, Government of India has launched and providing lot of assistance to the poor population. Further, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, MNREGA, one of the largest, most expensive, and the most empowering scheme of the globe, not only of India. There is urgent need to bring out the person who indulge, who trap inside the poverty. Because we have noticed very recently, NITI Aayog as well as earlier Planning Commission has highlighted multiple times the cycle of poverty. Yeah, vicious cycle of poverty. There is vicious cycle of poverty. You can also mention this vicious cycle of poverty whenever you have poverty related concern, etc. So what does mean by this vicious cycle of poverty? Now, for understanding, let's consider there is a child which is growing in poor environment, poor family. Child born in poor family. एक poor family में child पैदा हुआ. Now, you already know that this child may suffer from education. So there is low standard of education, poor standard of education. Education जो होगा बड़ा poor होगा इनका. If there will be poor education, then definitely its consequences will be poor job. तो job जो होगा आपका वो poor होगा या low earning job. Probably most of them do daily working, manual work, so daily wage worker, most of them. Okay, after it, then they used to move for family planning. हम दो हमारे दो, ठीक है. Now there will be family, so this family status standard all entirely will be poor. Then again the child born out of this family will be poor. So हमेशा ये ट्रैप चलता रहता है, poverty, 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 and poverty never came to end. Because you know here that there is a low income. पहले तो इनकम लो है, अब जब लो इनकम है तो फिर पुअर या लो इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा. अब लो इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा, कॉन्सिक्वेंटली डेफिनेटली देयर विल बी लो प्रोडक्टिविटी या लो रिटर्न. लो प्रोडक्टिविटी हो जाएगा. नाउ व्हेन देयर इज लो प्रोडक्टिविटी, then again there is low income. There is low income, then there is low saving. Yeah, no saving. If no saving, then there is no investment. If there is no investment, then there is low productivity, and finally there is low earning. So this cycle, poverty trap, likely to be continued. ये हमेशा cycle run करता रहता है, like in such a way. Now, you also need to know about Government of India's poverty calculation mechanism, which committee, when was appointed by Government of India, what was criteria of it. So whenever all such questions you are dealing with poverty, जहाँ कहीं भी आ रहा है SDG 1 वहाँ पर put कर दीजिए to eradicate poverty. Okay, like that. Now here you should also focus, being aspirant or student of UPSC, you should also focus certain committees, just like YK Alag. At least 2 or 3 committees you must know about calculation of poverty, etc. So it was YK Alag committee. This YK Alag committee was appointed by Government of India probably in 1979. Now, what this YK Alag committee determined? It determined poverty for rural areas. Rural areas के लिए उन्होंने कहा कि if person is consuming 2400 kilocalorie, अगर इतना किलो कैलोरी कंज्यूम कर रहा है इन रूरल एरियाज, पर्सन लाइकली टू बी पुअर. Means if up to 2400 kilocalorie, if below that person is consuming, then that person is poor. In urban area में उन्होंने कहा कि if person is consuming only 2100 kilocalorie or below that, then person likely to be poor. अगर 2100 और above उसके कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं तो पर्सन नॉट लाइकली टू बी पुअर. सो हिज एंटायर emphasis attention was over calorie consumption. Now suppose that, do you think that this determine complete definition of poverty? क्या मजाक नहीं हो रहा है आपके साथ कि सिर्फ आपने कैलोरी कंजम्पशन कर लिया? सपोज दैट आपने एक स्टिंज पी लिया और उसने आपको 2400 किलो कैलोरी एनर्जी दे दी. डू यू थिंक दैट यू आर नॉट द पुअर? The person who is just begging at a street light, now if anybody provided them a Red Bull and they have consumed a lot of calories, do you think that the person is not poor? So calorie consumption may not be very comprehensive data. That's why its recommendation was criticized, although this was the pioneer committee which focus at least over the consumption requirement कि लोगों को कितना किलो कैलोरी एनर्जी चाहिए फॉर मेकिंग देयर हेल्थ इंटैक्ट, ताकि उनकी हेल्थ जो है इंटैक्ट रहे. बट कैलोरी डज नॉट डिटरमाइन द हेल्थ स्टेटस, डज नॉट इंश्योर दैट वेदर यू आर ए हेल्दी पर्सन और यू आर ए ill person. It does not ensure that what kind of nutrition or micronutrition present inside your body, how strong is your immunity system. Okay. Whether it is wasting etc, क्या आपका बहुत ज़्यादा कम वेट है या ज़्यादा वेट है. तो फिर बाद में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने थोड़ा सा जब क्रिटिसिज्म हुआ तो फिर लकड़ा वाला कमेटी उन्होंने अपॉइंट कर दी. आफ्टर दैट 1993 में ये लकड़ा वाला कमेटी आई. So this Lakdawala committee generally determine focus over several other issues. Means not only calories consumption, but they also focus over some of the essential items like health, education, rent, cloth, etc. तो उन्होंने ये कुछ ऐड किया. ठीक है, ये सारा कुछ ऐड किया. सो इट बिकम स्लाइटली बेटर देन प्रीवियस वर्जन, क्योंकि रोटी कपड़ा मकान ये तो सभी की बेसिक नीड है, तो इतना होना ही चाहिए. हेल्थ अच्छी हो, उसको एजुकेशन भी मिली हो, एटलीस्ट प्राइमरी एजुकेशन तो होना चाहिए. ओके, रेंट या क्लॉथ्स या फ्यूल. देन गवर्नमेंट स्टिल इट वाज क्रिटिसाइज्ड. ओके, because all such things still does not determine poverty further. Poverty can be a relative poverty, poverty can be extreme poverty, absolute poverty. ठीक है, तो poverty का अलग अलग definition है. In USA, any person who doesn't own a car might be poor. In India, a person who doesn't own a cycle या doesn't have house might be poor. ठीक है, तो अलग अलग रीजन में अलग अलग डेफिनेशन हो सकती है. कुछ डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज में a person even having you know having the lowest brand of car might be poor. Yeah, not having SUVs, luxury car might be poor, like that. So poverty status likely to be vary from countries to countries. So after that, Suresh Tendulkar committee. Suresh Tendulkar committee was appointed in 2009. So Suresh Tendulkar committee further determined expenditure. Rural areas में he held that if any person is spending 27 rupees per person per day, then he is not likely to be poor. अगर urban area में any person is spending near about 33 rupees as per 2011 census, then he is not a poor. He emphasized more comprehensive understanding. According to him, there was around 21.9% of population in India was poor. Then there were criticism, means it was just addition to all these calories requirement, all these health, educations, rent, clothes, fuel requirement. So he was also criticized. Why he criticized? That he determined this expenditure too low to consider the poverty. Only to have data low means 21.9. Yeah, around approx 22% population of India is poor. So there was criticism of the government कि जानबूझकर ये एक्सपेंडिचर इतना लो रखा गया है so that we think कि poverty has removed from India up to large extent, means 80% population of India is no more poor. Yeah, 78% of population of India is no more poor. So it is great achievement. While different reports of World Bank, yeah, different other international organizations report held that there might be more than 30% population in India is poor. So that's why C Rangarajan committee finally came into existence. ठीक है, तो फाइनली सी रंगराजन कमेटी आया. सी रंगराजन कमेटी with respect to its criticism increases the limit from 27 in rural areas to 32 rupees and from 33 to 47 rupees in urban areas. And it was more comprehensive. At that time period, the poverty was determined 29.5%. तो यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हो कि आपने पॉवर्टी लाइन को अगर चेंज किया, इफ यू हैव चेंज द बेसिक डाटा हियर ऑफ पॉवर्टी लाइन, देन फाइनल द पॉवर्टी स्टेटस इन इंडिया इज चेंजिंग. तो उससे फिर सारा फाइनल स्टेटस चेंज हो जा रहा है. नाउ आई होप विद इन सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल 1 is quite comprehensive discussion we conducted. Although this is not required, yet it is important for examination and several times question have raised from the poverty. Now looking for sustainable development goal 2. So whatever is data associated with sustainable development goal, write over there sustainable development goal as well as compile all such associated information. So I have discussed in first development goal, probably second, third to 17th I will cover quickly. Second was zero hunger. ये zero hunger था. Zero hunger. What was the goal? Nobody should sleep hunger. Nobody should sleep hungry. Jawaharlal Nehru also held that, our several prime minister held that कि कोई भी भूखा नहीं सोएगा, सभी के सर के ऊपर छत होगी, कोई बिना छत के नहीं सोएगा, all such things. So sustainable development goal 2 is also supporting all such things. For that purpose government of India provided पोषण अभियान. हमने पोषण अभियान लॉन्च किया, या गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया provided food security act which is also providing food security to almost 50% population of India, including APL, BPL, etc., but at different rates. Yeah, we have also categorized poorest of poor, Antadoya Anna Yojana. For them, we are providing around 35 kilogram of ration per month per family. Now, we are moving towards third sustainable development goal, good health and well-being. Good health and well-being. Now, what is sustainable development goals here? Everybody should be healthy. The sustainable development goal is everybody should be healthy. To ensure everybody should be healthy, we have launched Ayushman Bharat. हमने आयुष्मान भारत को लॉन्च किया. More than 50% of population of India is covered with medical insurance. Yeah, covered for different kind of injuries, treatment, accident, etc. during their work. Almost all the manual workers have been covered by this scheme. especially in formal organization, as well as it try to cover informal organizations as well. Okay. Now, moving towards fourth one, quality education. It is about the education, and goal here is education for all. So, to ensure education for all, we have National Education Policy of 2020, as well as we have Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, Sab Padho Sab Badho. So, government provided to ensure education for all, irrespective of poor or rich. Now, fifth one is gender inequality. Gender inequality. So, for this gender inequality, the goal is empower all women and girl. Empower all women and girl. Now, government has launched Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So, you should remember associated schemes and key provisions of all such schemes. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Do you remember any other associated schemes with it? You can also link 33% reservation for the women in Lok Sabha as well as legislative assemblies. 2023 government has passed this act, which likely to be ensure 33% reservation in Lok Sabha and legislative assembly after next delimitation exercise, after next census या in next forthcoming जो भी election है उसमें ऐसा होगा. Now, so gender inequality. Further, clean water and sanitation. Clean water and sanitation for all. Goal is safe drinking water and sanitation. Safe drinking water and sanitation. So, Government of India to ensure safe drinking water, जल जीवन मिशन, उन्होंने जल जीवन मिशन लेकर के आए. Yeah, you have noticed the most successful and beautiful program of Government of India is Swachh Bharat, in which Government of India ensured that sanitation for all, and rural areas and urban areas sanitation for all. Now, seventh one, affordable and clean energy. Affordable and clean energy. Means goal is here clean energy that does not clean your wallet. Clean energy that doesn't clean your wallet. So Government of India also provided subsidy on it. You know, one of the corrupt organization is also power organizations where people don't have any alternative choice. Means आपके यहाँ Reliance से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आ रही है या टाटा से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आ रही है या किसी और अदर ग्रिड से या कंपनी से आ रही है. People doesn't have any choice. Government of India या government of a state generally ensure there is 16% net return. Means if these private corporates used to spend 100 rupees, तो गवर्नमेंट उनको इंश्योर करती है कि वी लाइकली टू बी रिटर्न यू 116 रुपीज. 116 रुपए हम आपको रिटर्न देंगे. नाउ दिस इज ऑफिशियल क्लेम्ड रिटर्न 16%, बट हाउ दे मैनिपुलेटेड देयर रिकॉर्ड सीट या कितना कुछ बार बार ट्रांसफॉर्मर चेंज करते हैं, घोटाला करते हैं, मैनिपुलेट करते हैं रिकॉर्ड सीट को या ब्राइवरी देते हैं फॉर ऑडिटर्स, गवर्नमेंट ऑडिटर्स को. So sometimes they are receiving up to 50% profit. That's why during Sheila Dikshit regime in Delhi, when Sheila Dikshit asked for privatization of electricity, probably no industrialist was ready because they have safe, secured return. 16% is net return as well as manipulated return. How much they do manipulations. Okay. So further, but yet government is ensuring more and more energy and we are receiving energy better than earlier. although all areas doesn't have 24 hours electricity. Yet in future it might be ensured. Further, we are also promoting through different schemes, solar energy, yeah, more clean and green, hydro energy, thermal energy, wind energy, etc. We have make different targets, etc. Now, eighth one is decent work and economic growth. Decent work and economic growth. The goal here is job and good growth. Means there should be sufficient opportunities. For opportunity purpose, what government provided? Agni Path scheme. Means in a state of 1%, there can be 4% employment for the 4%. Further 25% will also be promoted out of all selected Agniveers. So government taking different steps for increasing in the employment. Moving towards ninth goal, it is associated with industry innovation and infrastructure. That is also important. Industry innovation and infrastructure. Goal is build resilient infrastructure, build more sustainable infrastructure, which may be resilient against damage, which will be resilient as per requirement of the population. Further, 10th, reduce inequality. Reduce inequality. What do you think? Inequality has reduced or increased? Don't you think that inequality, income differences, etc., now seems to be some of the highest? For that purpose, government has launched several schemes, including the financial inclusion, including Ujjwala Yojana, etc., for more inclusiveness, for more equality, reduction in the inequality. Then sustainable cities and communities. Sustainable cities and community. Most of other cities, residential area, three-tier cities, etc., they are non-sustainable in nature. We frequently notice if there is any natural disaster, then there is huge calamities. There is any kind of event, suppose that heavy rainfall, a student may drown inside libraries. If there is a fire, several peoples, maybe in 10 digit, maybe in multiple digits, likely to be killed on the spot. So our residents or cities are not very sustainable in nature. Okay. So goal here is urban utopia, not dystopians. 12th, responsible consumption and production. Responsible consumption and production. Do you think that for consumption, for production, we also need to be responsible? Yeah, government need to be responsible. So here, goal is stop wasting. Means probably we waste more than 22% of our food grains each and every year. This FCI, Food Corporation of India, one of the largest, one of the most corrupt and least efficient organization in India, each and every year wasted huge amount of food grains. Generally, we doesn't have capacity to store. We don't have silos in which food grains can be procured for long time period without its damage. We do not have sufficient cold storage, sufficient cold chain infrastructure. Yeah, temperature controlled supply chains we do not have. Further, wastage started from the harvester's field. मतलब जब हार्वेस्ट होता है वहीं से वेस्ट स्टार्ट हो जाता है, फिर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में वेस्ट होता है, स्पेशली हॉर्टिकल्चर में मे बी अप टू 33% जस्ट लाइक वेस्ट. ठीक है, फ्रूट्स में, टमाटोज में, वेजिटेबल्स में देयर इज ह्यूज वेस्टेज बिकॉज सेल्फ लाइफ इज लेस एंड क्लाइमेट इज लिटिल बिट हार्श, means high temperature, and whenever farmers started to move towards the mandis etc., then inefficient system also caused delays, means more time is spent between the producer and consumer. So that's why it led to huge amount of waste. So reduce this waste, and this amount of waste can be consumed by the people for months. In India, near about 2 months ration is just wasted each and every year. Means entire population of India can consume food for 2 months out of waste if we minimize waste to zero, which is not possible. Yet we can minimize it to 5-6% like that, not like more than 20%, not like more than 30%. Okay, it is not good sign. Further, uh, after it, climate action. 13 is climate action. Now it is mandatory, and everywhere in most of the summit, especially United Nations framework, Convention on Climate Change, etc., this climate change goal is mandatory, abiding over all the countries. Goal is to fight the climate, especially to fight the climate change. So there are several separate climate conventions which are binding over the countries to achieve their self-determined contribution for changing the climate, for more green and clean energies, and restrict rise in the temperature around 1.5 degree Celsius, limited or maybe maximum to 2% from the level of industrial revolution. Means around 80s 50s to 1900 जो भी टेम्परेचर था उससे अगर कंपेयर करें आज का जो टेम्परेचर है, that should not go beyond 2 degree Celsius, maximum 2 degree Celsius. Keep it limit around 1.5 degree Celsius. We have noticed during last century from 1900 to 2000 there is rapid rise in the temperature, which is causing several kind of problems, which is also leading to several disasters and calamities, erratic rainfall, cyclonic storm, etc. Yeah, rise in the sea level, rapid melting of glaciers, threat to certain species, habitat of species, etc., etc. It is causing several problems. Further, 14th is life below water. Life below water, it associated with save fishing. Goal is save fishing. Fishing को save कीजिए. For saving the fishing, government has also restricted exploitation, extraction of fishes from the oceans, from the water bodies. Government make the laws that during breeding time period there will be not exploitation, there will not be collection of these fishes. Then peace, justice and strong institutions. उससे पहले लाइफ ऑन लैंड पर आ जाते हैं. लाइफ ऑन लैंड, लाइफ ऑन लैंड means save forest, save elephant, save some species. Do not opt for deforestation. Do afforestation, reforestation. Otherwise our planet will not be sustainable. Otherwise future generations may not survive. ठीक है, अब आते हैं पीस, जस्टिस एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग इंस्टीट्यूशन. पीस, जस्टिस एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग इंस्टीट्यूशन. It is in favor of all the countries. Goal is strong justice, not the strong court. Strong justice is required. Strong court से ज्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. RTI, E court, ग्राम न्यायालय, etc., etc. We have multiple examples. Yeah, special tribunals to settle a special dispute. Suppose that green tribunal to settle dispute related to environment, civil administrative tribunals to settle dispute related to civil servant, etc. Okay, so all such are examples for ensuring justice. Then 17 is partnership for goal. Do partnership for goals. गोल्स के लिए पार्टनरशिप कीजिए. वी वी आर ऑल वर्ल्ड, या वी आर द वर्ल्ड, वी आर द वर्ल्ड, वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, सबका साथ सबका विकास. Government generally have such kind of objective. So all these are 17 goals. You can use them frequently during your means answer writing. Unnecessarily do not attach them, and wherever you found best suitable opportunities, please write them, and also link whatever schemes that government has introduced which are more suitable to them. So that's all within this lecture. Thank you very much for attending this session. See you in next lecture.